This is a presentation about primary commodities and the special qualities that apply to these with respect to supply and demand. Primary commodities are things that come from nature, and for our example, we can choose wheat, something obviously which is grown on farms and grown by wheat farmers. So there are some special characteristics of primary commodities such as wheat. First of all food, including wheat, has a fairly inelastic demand. We don't necessarily eat more or less because the price of wheat changes. Wheat is a necessary food product, and even if the price goes up, the quantity demanded of wheat stays roughly the same, leading to a very inelastic demand because it is a necessity for survival. The second thing about agricultural commodities is that they have what we call a perfectly inelastic supply. The supply curve of agricultural commodities is completely vertical. It is a vertical straight line. And the reason for this is because there is a long time gap, a long time lag between the time these crops are planted and the time they are taken out of the ground and sold, which is known as harvesting. Because of this long time lag, the price at which these commodities will be sold is not known to the farmer of the wheat at the time when he or she plants the wheat, and therefore the supply of this commodity is not influenced by the price because the price is completely unknown. And this gives rise to a completely inelastic supply curve. No matter what the price, the quantity supplied is independent of the price because the price simply wasn't known at the time the wheat was planted. So, the third characteristic of agricultural commodities is that they are affected by the weather. The effect of weather is to shift the supply curve either to the right or to the left. Good weather shifts the supply curve to the right because it means that there will be more wheat harvested given the quantity that was planted. But if the weather is particularly bad, the supply curve of agricultural commodities such as wheat is shifted to the left because a lot of the wheat is killed in the ground. So we can now put these three characteristics together. We see that there is a very inelastic demand curve. We also see that the supply curve is completely inelastic. And thirdly, we see that the supply curve can shift to the right or to the left due to the effects of weather. What this leads to is a very volatile price. The price is the point of intersection of the supply curve and the demand curve. And we can see that the price can vary from P0 all the way up to P1 if the weather is particularly bad, to P2 if the weather is particularly good. And this means that there is a wide range of prices that these agricultural commodities can be sold for. What is the effect of this? Well, the effect is to cause a wide variation in the revenue for farmers. Revenue, remember, is price multiplied by quantity. And so, given that the quantity sold stays relatively the same because of inelastic demand, changes in the price up and down cause massive changes in the revenue for farmers. And this is one of the classic problems of agricultural commodities, and there have been several attempts to stabilize the revenue for farmers, which we will look at in subsequent presentations.